Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of Port Clinton City Council of November 26, 2013. I just want to make a quick little comment. On Sunday, the community lost a tireless advocate for individuals that needed a little help, Ms. Mosey Nesbitt Johnson. Mosey also often fought for those who couldn't speak for themselves. She was often quick to tell you if she thought you were the person at fault. I am sure she has already met with God to give him a piece of her mind and to formulate her plan. So tonight, please remember the Nesbitt Johnson family in our thoughts and prayers. So now please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, the Lord's Prayer, and a moment of silence for our men and women serving overseas. You have to wait a minute while the mayor and I manage to get up. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. We have a clerk this evening with 6 children. So I'd like to take a motion to have Ms. Mel take tonight's minutes.
So moved, Madam President.
Mr. Snyder. Thank you, Ms. Phillips. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Ms. Mel, if you are temporary clerk. The chair notes the certification has been received regarding compliance with the rules of notification of this meeting. And would the clerk please call the roll? Ms. Allen.
Mark Koppler,
Present.
Ron Ackerman,
Present.
Deb Banco, Kathy Mel here, Mike Snyder,
Present.
Nicole Freitas,
Present.
and Margaret Phillips.
Present. Thank you. We will now go to the mayor's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just some new information. We had discussed just recently about Dan Cassidy from SME who was doing the boring samples at Waterworks Park. And we had talked about some scheduling that was going on. That has all changed due to the government shutting down. The process is taking a little bit longer. The EPA is getting involved. There's just some T's that need to be crossed and I's dotted. So they won't be starting until December 6th, or excuse me, January 6th. So it has changed a whole other month that we're going to wait before we get the information we need to get to some of the architects and some of the planning people to find out exactly what we can do there and what we can't. Also, I just wanted to give a big thank you. Ordinance 36-13 is about a policy and procedure manual for the city and the employees. The city has really never had anything in regard to that. There's been a few papers, a couple notes, but never a policy and procedure manual. So I want to thank the administration. I know a lot of the administration was very well involved in this, along with some of our supervisors put this together. We're looking forward to the passage to this so that we can run a tighter ship. I also wanted to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. That is all, Madam President.
Thank you. Auditor's report.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Treasurer, enjoying Thanksgiving. Safety Service Director's report.
My turn. Thank you, Madam President. 6th Street job is pretty much done. I thought they did a great job on that street. The stop signs went up, all the corner signs went up. The only thing they'll come back in the spring and check the grass to make sure that that's growing. We'll keep a retainage on that so that they come back and take care of that. I also want to put a thanks out to Mr. Peterson and the service department guys. I thought they did a great job on the leaf pickup. The streets are very clean. We started it a little bit later. I know some people were upset in the beginning, but I thought our guys worked very, very hard and did a great job on that. Along that same line, we will be out one more time next week to spot check the whole city. We'll start in Ward 1 and work our way through town one last time, so that everybody knows and understands that. Thank you, Madam President. And the other thing, happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you. Police chief's report.
Thank you, Madam President. All I have tonight is I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Fire chief's report.
Well, kind of along the same notes, Madam President, I do want to remind everybody the holidays are for, especially this coming week, is for giving thanks, and also it's about family and staying safe. We've had a very rough few days between Sandusky County, Wood County, and Ottawa County. And again, I just want to reiterate, if you need anything, you need your smoke detectors checked, you need anything, you make sure you call, and I'll be glad to come out personally take care of that. 2 of the fires that were locally, there were no evidence of smoke detectors present. Whether they were, whether they weren't, whether they heard them, whether they didn't, but the whole thing is this time of year it's very tough on, a death is tough at any time, but you also have to remember your first responders and all the family members that are dealing with that also. All of these things are preventable, and if you need help at your homes and you wanted me to come out and help you check them, I'll be glad to help you check them. I'd much rather see you that way than have to come see you professionally. And on that, please have a safe and joyous holiday weekend.
Under correspondence this evening, I have the Finance Committee minutes of 11:19, the Planning and Development minutes of 11:14, and the Emergency Services minutes of 11:19. I'd like a motion to accept the correspondence as stated.
So moved, Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Benko. Could I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Poplar. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We will now go to the reading of ordinance and resolutions. And under third readings, we have ordinance 36-13. And will the clerk please read that by title and summary only?
Ordinance 3613, an ordinance adopting and approving the personnel policy and procedure manual of the city of Port Clinton and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 36-13? Ms. Benko.
Madam President, I move that we retain the emergency clause in ordinance 36-13.
I have a motion to retain the emergency clause in ordinance 36-13. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Any discussion on the retaining of the clause? Seeing none, will the clerk please call the roll?
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Deb Banko,
Yes.
Kathy Mel, yes. Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Mark Poplar.
Yes.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any further action on ordinance 36-13? Ms. Banko.
Madam President, I'll move that we adopt ordinance 36-13.
I have a motion to adopt ordinance 36-13. Do I have a second?
Second, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Any discussion? Mr. Snyder.
Thank you. I again would like to reiterate what the mayor had mentioned and congratulating and thanking everybody that was involved in putting this together. I've been involved in the private sector of putting one of these together, not nearly as extensive as the one the city put together. I know how much time and energy and effort went into it. And if anybody can't fall asleep some night, it's a good read. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Would the clerk please call the roll?
Margaret Phillips,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Kathy Mel, yes. Deb Banko,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Mark Poplar.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 36-13 has passed. We will now go to reading of second readings of ordinance and resolutions. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 37-13.
Ordinance 37-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service to request a loan from the Ohio Water Development Authority for funds for the Fulton Street reconstruction and water line replacement project and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 37-13? Seeing none, we will move that to the December 10th meeting. Would the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 39-13.
Ordinance 39-13, amended and restated ordinance of the Council of the City of Port Clinton, Ottawa County, Ohio, required by the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund to continue the pickup program for the city employees covered by the Ohio Police and Fire Pension Fund.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 39-13? Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. Don't wish to take any action. I just would like to point out that last week, the Emergency Services Committee did meet with the assistance of Auditor Hatfield to discuss this ordinance, and we would like to make a recommendation after the third reading that this ordinance be passed. So I have that here, and I'll pass that to the clerk after the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, that will be moved to the December 10th meeting for its third reading. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only, Resolution 13-04.
Resolution 13-04, a resolution opposing the proposed deep geological repository for the low and intermediate level radioactive waste near Kincardine, Ontario, or any other underground repository near the shores of any of the Great Lakes, including connecting waterways, and declaring an emergency.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on Resolution 13-0? Ms. Baker.
Madam President, I would just like to announce that the Planning and Development Committee did unanimously approve a recommendation in favor of passing this resolution.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we will move that for its third reading to the December 12th meeting. We will now go to new readings of ordinance and resolutions. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 40-13.
Ordinance 40-13, an ordinance making appropriations for the current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Port Clinton, county of Ottawa, state of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending on December 31st, 2014.
Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 40-13? Seeing none, we will move that to its second reading for the December 12th meeting. Will the clerk please read by title and summary only, ordinance 41-13.
Ordinance 41-13, an ordinance authorizing and directing the Director of Safety and Service and the city auditor to enter into an agreement for the acquisition of 4 police cruisers and related necessary equipment by lease, purchase, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Does council wish to take any action this evening on ordinance 41-13? I'm sorry.
I just have a question. Is the expense for this already accounted for in the 2014 appropriation?
Yes, it is, but there will have to be a few adjustments to a different line item. Since this is a lease purchase, we'll have to add a principal line item and move that line item to the lease budget. The plan is to move the current proposed allocations from the equipment line item into those line items, so there will be no net effect on the budget.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, we will move that to the December 10th meeting for its second reading. I would entertain a motion at this time that we cancel the December 24th council meeting with the idea that there will probably be a special meeting called at some point, probably to read the appropriations for the third time, or any other business that this bill needs to be finished before the end of the year. But at this point, unless you all have a deep desire to be here on Christmas Eve, I'm busy.
I make that motion.
Okay. I'll second it. All right, did you get that, Ms. Mel?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder made the motion, Ms. Phillips seconded. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Mark Koppler,
Yes.
Ron Ackerman,
Yes.
Deb Banco,
Yes.
Kathy Nell, yes. Mike Snyder,
Yes.
Nicole DeFreitas,
Yes.
Margaret Phillips.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So the meeting on 12/24 has been canceled. I will let you know that we are going to do the swearing in of recently elected councilmen on December 30th at 7 o'clock. As I've talked to the auditor, that may be a good time to have a special meeting if we need one, because we'll have people here. So, but we will try to give you, well, we have to give you at least 24 hours notice, but we'll try to give you more than that.
Madam President, but we won't have a meeting if we don't need.
We won't have a meeting if we don't need it now. We will now go to business from the floor. Mr. Cochran.
Thank you, Madam President. And that was the question I was going to ask you, was about the December
Well, we took care of you.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Congratulations to Jerry Tiroli on the recount. We won by 5, and you'll have this seat next year. Just watch it, because Ron likes to steal the one with the arms. Just want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Mr. Ackerman.
Thank you, Madam President. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. Number one, the December 10th Parks and Rec meeting will take place at 6:30 as regularly scheduled. I'd like to also follow up everybody's happy Thanksgiving wishes. And I do believe Saturday should mark the end of an undefeated regular season for the Ohio State Buckeyes. So please, go Bucks.
Took your thunder.
Thank you. Ms. Benko.
Nothing tonight, Madam President.
Thank you. Ms. Mel.
Yes, I would just like to follow up on what the President and Council talked about. Mosey Nestor Thompson has been such a good friend to, best friend. And I felt so bad for Pastor. But anyway, she's been a friend of Conestoga Project, which we worked on, the community garden, and the Friends of the Park.
Did you've not read her obituary yet? Her obituary asked for her memorials to go to the Conestoga Project.
Oh, good.
So I thought that was.
And also, happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a reminder that the Salvation Army is in the middle of their Red Kettle campaign, and they still have several times throughout the community at 4 bell-ringing locations. If you as an individual, group, organization would like to volunteer, the number of the Salvation Army is 419-732-2769. Of this body have agreed to ring the bell on December 6th, Friday, December 6th at Community Market. And just for everyone's information, there are still a couple of open spots on that. We'll be there from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Believe it or not, Santa and Mrs. Claus are making their return trip to Port Clinton on December 7th, Saturday, December 7th, from 2:30 to 4. They will be at the Island House downtown. Bring your kids, your cameras, bring your pets. But I do have it on good regard that Santa is deathly afraid of snakes and spiders. So if you have a pet as a snake or spider, leave them at home. You're permanently on the naughty list. That's from 2:30 to 4. And I know on very good regard, Santa's not kidding me. Santa's deathly afraid of snakes and spiders. At 4 o'clock then, Santa will go over to the Old Community Market, and at 4:30 there'll be a parade through the streets of Port Clinton from the Old Community Market down Madison the 2nd to Adams Street Park, and following the parade then, there'll be a tree lighting ceremony that the community is welcome to attend. Finally, the tip from the chief comes from Fire Chief Kent Johnson, although we talked about safety and smoke alarms this evening. I know we got an early start on holiday lights, but there are still several folks that will be putting them up over this coming weekend. That seems to be the traditional kickoff to the light season. Make sure you check your lights for frays, check all the bulbs. Again, we'd rather see you personally rather than professionally. So have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Thank you. And go Bucks.
I'm going to give a tip from the chief that probably would come from Chief Hickman if I told him of my complaint. So, but I get off work at 5. I get off work at 5 o'clock. And if you'll note, at 5 o'clock, it's pretty dusk out and it's getting rather dark. For all of you who jog, walk your dogs, if you're walking on the street, I can't see you when I come home because you have on black clothes, brown clothes, dark clothes, nothing reflected. And the last 2 nights I've been almost on top of somebody before I've seen them. So the tip from the chief would be wear your reflective clothing when you're out, or wear something white so people can see you. It would be a tragedy to hit someone just because it's dusk. So, please. Mrs. DeFreitas.
All I have is that we'll be having the infrastructure meeting December 3rd at 7:30 here at City Hall. Is that what I said? 7:30. Regular time?
6:30.
You said
5:30.
Oh, sorry, 6:30. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Phillips. Mr. Colston, one more pickup on storm damaged limbs coming up.
Yes, ma'am.
When?
That'll be next week also.
Next week.
Maybe a little bit tomorrow, but probably more next week.
Okay, so we should get them up by this.
Get them out
I
this
agree.
weekend.
We can do that. And happy Insomniac Day, also known as Thanksgiving, for those of you who eat too much turkey. Good way to fall asleep, isn't it? Right in the middle of the game. Okay, members of the audience, Mr. Yawkey.
Jerry Yankee, 117 Cedar Street. Mayor, the geotech study that you talked of, who is paying for that?
That is being paid for by a grant through the county.
Okay.
So it's not, no tax.
How much does that amount to? Do you know?
I can't hear you.
How much is it?
How much is it? I don't want to quote you the wrong price. I don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to pull it.
Okay,
I
we
don't know off the
had
top of my
one
head.
geotech study made back, I don't know, 05, 06 that ran about $225,000.
You're talking about the environmental studies,
The
1 and 2?
environmental study, right?
Okay.
Is that what?
This is different. Those borings were strictly to make decisions concerning the, wasn't really for geotech. Geotech is more for construction. It's to tell us how big the bases need to be, whether it's got to be pylons driven in the ground, where exactly the silt levels are, the bedrock is located. It really dictates whether or not you can build on a property or what you need to do in order to build on the property. So it's a little bit different study, but along with it, they are doing some environmental stuff as well, because there was some gaps and concerns in between those two phases of study that just, they didn't really clarify things as well as they should.
Okay. The manual that you guys put together, is that for all employees, elected officials also?
No, we can't dictate any kind of law, policy procedure on the council people. Those are strictly for employees
Okay.
of the city of Port Clinton.
Okay. Then I have another announcement that Court will be decorating Perry Street for the holidays. Anyone interested can contact a Court representative at the website SaveWaterworksPark. What is it, .net.org. Thank you.
Yes.
When you say you're decorating Perry Street, what are you referring to?
That'll be under private residence.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't
Yeah, I
understand
understand.
what you're talking
We're
about.
not going into the city.
No, I was just,
property.
when you just said Perry Street, I didn't know, I mean, the resident, just strictly for Perry Street? Or are you
Yes.
doing it throughout?
No, just strictly
Okay.
Perry Street.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else this evening? You gotta jump up faster. I was about
Well, I
to call
thought
for-
Gary was gonna jump up there.
I was about to call for an adjournment.
Robert Smith, 218 West 4th Street. One thing I'd like to say is I'm a Vietnam veteran, 1968, 1969. I also belong to the American Legion, and I am a life member of the VFW 2480 in Port Clinton, Ohio. What I'd like to know from the mayor, is there any talks to settle this dispute over the overpayment of the water bill that the VFW has? And second, there has been a letter sent by the VFW lawyer, and is there any response by the city? And is there any hearings scheduled to solve this problem? This is a lot of money for the VFW, and we're short this time during the holidays. Thank
The
you.
only way I can reply to all three of those issues. It is a legal matter. There's legal representation on both sides, and I cannot comment on any of that at this point in time.
Is there a hearing scheduled?
Once again, I can't comment, but I'm not aware of anything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm the interpreter for the mayor.
There you go.
Yes, speak up. You know, you guys can't hear with these microphones. I can't hear you right there either.
Anyone else this evening? Seeing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn. Ms. Banko?
Madam President, I move this August body adjourn.
Can I have a second? Thank you, Mr. Freeman. All those in favor? Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're adjourned.